Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking on the 5 mini-bosses before Thanos in the Uncollected event Infinity Nightmare. I want to do this video for two reasons. One, not everyone has completed the event and have no idea what's in store for them. And two, not everyone has the skills to reach Thanos and are looking for some help on how to defeat the bosses along the way. Now, if you're looking for videos on Thanos, I have those as well. Just look down in the description. I'll add the 3 links for 3 videos that I made for Thanos. That should be able to help you out. So let's get started. The first thing we have is the new Captain America. So much like the other Captain Americas, he's not that great on defense. Maybe he's the best out of the 3. This video, he's pretty easy to beat. He's got high armor rating at 90%, I believe. He's got glancing abilities, somewhat like Ant-Man. So I brought in Drax here, 5-star level, rank 3, thinking that maybe I could bleed him out. Took a little longer than I thought it was going to take. Probably should have used an armor break champ, but it gives you an idea of how Captain America works. His special 1s and special 2s are very easy to bait and evade, especially special 1. He's a pretty cool little champ, and I hope his attack is going to be a lot better than his defense. So let's get on to the video. Okay, so let's start this fight. Like I said, this one's pretty easy, mostly just parrying and avoiding specials. Again, I wish I didn't bring Drax in for this, but it gives you a pretty good idea on how Captain America works. His SP1 is quite easy to dodge, you'll see here in a moment. There it is, and then you just run in and hit him after. You don't have to worry about getting intercepted. I was doing some Furies trying to get more damage in, but it wasn't really helping. So a little bit later I decided to do the SP2s instead. See, he just uses his specials and his heavies all the time. He's very easy to bait. For sure the easiest boss out of the bunch. I got some bleed in, does a little more damage. As you can see now, he's starting to get a little bit stun resistant. That's his SP2. I kind of blocked it, took some damage on it, but it's easy just to slide back. Again, trying to get those SP2s in, of course, no bleed that time. So he's a pretty good champ in the sense of his block and his glancing for being able to take a lot of beatings. So I have high hopes for him as an attacker. I hope he's better than the other 2 Captain Americas. So we're getting down to the final here, and we're going to bleed him out. So like I said, pretty basic, pretty easy, and we'll move on to the next one, which is Iron Man. So Iron Man Infinity War will be an initial shock the first time you take him on. He's got a lot of things going for him. He's got a tricky SP1 with an unblockable first part of it. He's got a somewhat tricky SP2. It's kind of fast, but then it's much like the Sentinel missiles. You just got to basically evade those last 2 missiles. He's got some power gain here. He's hard to stun, and he's got high armor on this node. And at the 15% mark of his health, he has a auto block feature, which is extremely annoying. Basically, the way I get around that is, 1, saving your SP3 to the end and using it when he hits 15%. You could also do things like intercept with your specials. It really helps, 1 or 2. He doesn't seem to be able to auto block those. I also noticed bleeders and people that can poison and so forth. You can just kind of bleed them, poison them out. If you intercept him the first couple of hits, he usually takes those to the face and he doesn't auto block them. So he's a bit of a challenge. You'll see here in the video how to dodge the specials, and yeah, he's a fun fight. I'm not a big fan of Iron Man with wings, but that's my own personal preference. So let's get going. Okay, so theirs is a heavy attack. It's pretty easy to avoid, and you can run in right after. I like trying to push him to the SP2. I find it easier to avoid, but there's the SP1. 1 swing and 2 energy blasts. You'll see it coming up again here. That's the unblockable part. 1, 2. Just 2 dashes back. I tried to get some armor breaks in because I know he had high armor, and obviously the stun is nice because he's hard to stun anyway. And then some incinerate damage. Now we're going to see the SP2 coming up. He comes at you with his big fists and then a couple missiles, very easy to dodge. I haven't had any luck trying to run in after specials. He always intercepts, so I suggest you just stay back. Again, unlockable. 1, 2. Hyperion's a pretty good champ for this Iron Man. 1, 2. Just trying to push him back a little bit. Again, 1, 2. See how I intercept him with the SP2, so I don't have to worry about the actual parry. So now the auto block's here. Since I had Hyperion, I just waited it out to get to my SP3. And here I go, my SP3 is at his 15%, so he can't auto block this, and he is dead. So that's the way I fought him. It's pretty easy after you get used to him, and after you get used to his abilities. So the next big boss here is Modok, Mr. Big Head. This one's a little bit different. His shield is always up until you do a heavy attack on him. He also has some limber abilities. I also noticed that some champs just wouldn't work with him. Like I tried Doctor Strange and I tried Drax, and I could not take down his shield with heavy attacks. I did it over and over again. I think it took 9 or 10 times for Drax to bring it down. So anyway, I used some other champs. I find champs that have a long-reaching heavy attack are the best, because eventually he's going to limber up, and you can do your heavy attacks when he does his incinerate attempt with his own heavy, and it's nice to have that far reach. So let's get into this video, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks. So you gotta take him down with the heavy attack. He does one here, so I retaliate and bring down his blue shield. That was a nice bonus to start the fight. Again, he just stunned and hit, and when he has his blue shield back up, which is right there, you do your heavy, it goes back down. Just watch out for his SP1, just to slide back. Other great champs, of course, would be Blade with the Trinity, or at least Ghost Rider. Archangel destroys this guy. Gwenpool is pretty good. He's actually a little easier than normal on this node because it's so easy to take down his shields. Just gotta watch that SB1. And sometimes you gotta watch when the field goes back up. Again, he starts to get stun immune here soon with his limber abilities. Again, I hit the shield. I actually make a mistake coming up here that I want to show you right after this SP3. Basically, I was too far away when he does his heavy, and I try my own heavy, and I totally miss him. So you gotta watch that. It's right here. I was too far away. So I paid the price, kind of lost my focus, kind of got lucky on this one, and managed to finish him off. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Next we move on to Corvus Glaive. He's going to be a pain in the side for many, not because he's that hard of an opponent to play against, it's because of the node itself. He has an extremely high attack rating, so basically if he hits you a 5-hit combo, you will be dead, or you'll be close to dead. And even if he hits your block, he does some pretty impressive damage. He also has some bonuses on the node. One, he's unstoppable for the first 6 seconds of the fight, so you either have to perhaps intercept or run away, is basically what I do in this video. Second, he has a Spectre ability, which means all your regeneration is reversed. So if you're wondering why you're degenerating, that's why. And finally, if he has debuffs put on him, he gets power gain. So he's a tough little guy. You got to play perfect. Luckily, his specials are pretty evadable. So let's move on to the fight. So the start of the fight, he starts off unblockable. You see that purple circle going up top. It's gone now, so I can attack him normally. Basically, we're just going to be baiting the SB1, the SB2. I actually find his SB2 even easier to avoid. I think I actually blocked this one here, so yeah, wasn't my best dodge. You can see my health going down. He hasn't even hit me, and he's just chopping me to pieces. But luckily, he takes a lot of damage as well. Of course, I'm using Starlord in this case, so I really want to take him out as fast as possible. Here's a little taunt, little punch to the face, waiting for the SB2. So if you have some 4 stars, you know, you might not end up dying just from block damage. So it might take a couple rounds. Not sure what I was doing there at that special. Okay, so he's out. So we move on to the next. The last main boss before Thanos is Proxima Midnight. She's got a few bonuses on her nodes. Number 1, she has the Prove Yourself ability, which means you have to hit her at least 15 times before she starts taking damage. So if you lose that, and you get hit, you'll have to start with the 15 hits again. So you got to watch that. She also has the Burden of Might. Basically, if you have buffs up, you're going to be losing 15% of your power as you hit. You also lose 25% of your power when a buff activates. I brought in Hyperion for this, which was a silly mistake because he relies on his buffs. So you're going to see in this fight, I barely ever get a special off, which is basically what he's used for. So I would suggest bringing in champs that don't have any buffs, Gwenpools and so forth. But Proxima is still pretty easy to beat because all you have to do is bait out her SB1. It's a 2-part where she swings at you with her staff, and the second part is kind of like an electrical bolt to the ground, kind of like Jane Foster's. So we're going to watch the fight. Again, this wasn't the best champ choice to take her on, but again, just pick some champs that don't have a lot of buffs so you can keep your power going. I think initially my thinking was Hyperion's heavy attack does 5 hits, and that would get me over the 15 hit mark pretty quickly. I just wasn't thinking about his buffs and what that would do to my power gain. And obviously Hyperion without power gain is, well, he's pretty basic. I know what I started doing here was just doing my Furies a lot, so my punches would do more damage, and just basically baiting her SB1. Her SB1 is pretty easy to dodge. It's just straight back, as you saw right there. Her SB2 is also dodgeable, but it's very fast, and it can catch you. And if it catches you at this level, it's probably going to kill you, I have a feeling. We don't get to see it in this fight, but there's a reason why I'm avoiding it. And she has no power gain here, so it's pretty easy to take her on. It's funny watching Hyperion with no power. Again, doing the Furies. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, it's nothing too intense. It's just giving you an idea of who to expect on the way to Thanos. I know not everybody's done the event, and I know not everyone is going to zip on through to Thanos with no problems. I mean, Iron Man probably gave me the most problem the first run. I wasn't... That 15% really shocked me. I didn't know how to get past it. So, you know, and the Glaive, I think the first time Glaive hit me and killed me right away, I was pretty shocked by that as well. So my thoughts to you is to always read the nodes fully. And I know sometimes you just want to get in there and fight, which is what I did a couple times, like in this fight here. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, please subscribe, like, comment, dislike, whatever you want to do. Everything helps and makes me want to grow the channel even more. And when you get to Thanos, good luck. And remember, I have 3 videos in the description if you want to check them out. That will also give you a hand against the last 2 bosses, which are both Thanos, by the way. Take care, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Target identified. Analysis complete. Please subscribe.